Hi there and welcome to GodElectric. I just thought I'd run through a few things on the website to help people understand the hieroglyphs, as there seems to be some confusion. So if we start on the main page, well, I start with the simple principle that hieroglyphs are not phonetic sounds. Hieroglyphs are not a language as people have interpreted them. They're a code, and they're God's code, and they explain how how stars are powered and how they're organised, and basically how the universe works. Um, and it's something that's been kept out of understanding until 2013, when I unlocked it by putting positive and negative charge into the hieroglyphic code. So if we begin by explaining that, it should help people. Okay, I'm going to give you the story about how I came to the understanding of electricity in the hieroglyphs. I'm a geotechnical engineer. I went to New Zealand to help in the aftermath of the earthquakes. Came to the realisation that the military-industrial complex was creating the earthquakes. They then used their mind control technology to torture me, lock me up in mental hospital, and basically pulverise me with all their electronic weapons for a few years. And in doing so, I got help from a higher power out in the cosmos, which I call God. And that higher power showed me how to read the hieroglyphs. The reason that is, I believe, is because the military-industrial complex believe the sun is a closed system. They believe the sun is a thermonuclear bomb, that all the electricity and the solar wind that comes from that is within its own closed system, and they're entitled to use that electricity. They couple into that electricity and create earthquakes. That's what they were doing in Christchurch. What God has showed me is how that their ideology is not true. What is actually happening is, which is explained on the website, if we go to this page here, if you click on the link to Christchurch earthquakes at the front of the website, you'll see I've summarised what was going on in New Zealand. The military-industrial complex were using the charge stored in the plasmasphere around the Earth, and they've got this thing called superdine, so they can tell when the sun's ejecting. I think in terms of the hieroglyphs, ejecting its venom, which is the charge, and it's collected into the plasmasphere. This is all explained by the hieroglyphs. They then take that charge, release it through the ionosphere, charge the ground up via induction or their magnetron weapons and their lasers. They're able to create a pathway for that electricity to charge up the ground, and that charge is released in the ground in the form of an earthquake. And they were doing this repeatedly in Christchurch until they're still doing it now, I think. 6 years on, they haven't rebuilt the cathedral properly, and basically from what I can tell, being back in the UK and looking at YouTube, the place is still a mess. They haven't sorted it out. So my position on it is I'd just like to document what happened and to help people if in case they plan on doing this again, because the Bible's quite clear. There will be earthquakes in diverse places, and as far as I'm concerned, the earthquake that hit the CBD, the city centre of Christchurch, was an earthquake in a diverse place. And it was caused by the military. And why they chose a city with the name Christchurch, and they have antennas shaped as Star of David's, is, well, to me it's quite obvious, but there is an evil on this earth that was foretold thousands of years ago, and the truth is the only way to destroy that evil, and it must be done with love. Now this is where I get back to a story that happened to me early on at university. They were mind controlling me, and they separated me from my partner, and because of that I am a single man, and I'm willing to fight these people till the day I leave this earth, unless I'm put back with my partner. That's my position. So if we get back onto the website and the hieroglyphs, what I worked out while they tortured me, I said to them I would prove God, and I did, because I took the sacred code of the hieroglyphs and put electricity into them, proving that the stars are powered by God and his negative charge. Now if we go back onto the main site, scroll down to where you've got the Ra Herakti papyrus, you've got the negative charge hieroglyph that I deciphered in the centre of that papyri. you've got the ostrich feather stuck in the side of that hieroglyph. The ostrich feather is a collector. That means negative charge is collected. The sun is then shown on top of that hieroglyph with a peregrine falcon in between. That means the collection of negative charge supports the sun. The sun is not a thermonuclear bomb. It's not any other type of plasma phenomenon. It's as Ralph Jurgens described, very similar to how Ralph Jurgens described, except God is the one supplying that sun with negative charge. And God does not like people misusing his electricity to murder, pillage and torture good people on the earth. That's not why God supplies this earth with electricity. And Satan, who they worship, that is who the military industrial complex worship. They worship Satan, and it won't be tolerated. What I suggest you do while my website GodElectric.org is still on the internet is you download everything that's on there and document it and share it. It's all free. I'm not doing this for any other reason other than the truth and my love for my girlfriend. That's what spurred me on to do this. I'm a Christian. I know Jesus Christ walked the earth and died for our sins. I won't go into that too much because I want to get back on the hieroglyphs. The situation now with these hieroglyphs is that I think there's some confusion. So I would like to just iron out any confusion people have. So if we carry on further on down that page, you've got what Egyptologists call kaifi, which is an oil, and it's burnt in these pots to symbolize the sun. Now if you take those hieroglyphs and look at how I deciphered them, you'll see what that is showing is that negative charge is resonated and burnt to, scavenged to, shown by the vulture, to an anode, a supported anode star. That is what it means. And then you have the Ankh, or the Ankh. It doesn't really matter how you say these. It's because it's a code, effectively. It's not a language. So you've got that symbol that means support life. And you'll see that symbol used throughout all of the deities. I'll call them deities. They're not gods or God. God is something far, far greater. These are just representing physics of the universe. And this symbol is shown in the hands of these deities, which to represent how God supplies negative charge to the stars and the planets in order to support life. That is what that symbol means. It's used throughout Egyptology. Any process of the universe that uses electricity to support life will have that held in its hand because it's critical that it is maintained in order to support life. Now, once you appreciate the hieroglyphs for positive and negative charge are just two sides of a circle, you can go on and start applying the different animals to the hieroglyphic code. The hieroglyphs, which the Greeks actually understood what the word hieroglyph was. It's a sacred carving, sacred meaning holy, meaning it comes from a higher power. It's not human in origin. So if we go to the animals, God created all the animals on the earth. And the animals used in the hieroglyphs explain the physics of the realm beyond, the cosmos. So once the hieroglyphs for positive and negative charge are deciphered, as revealed above, this then opens the gateway to understanding the true meaning of all the other hieroglyphs. The next step, therefore, is to decode the animals by correlating their individual special characteristic to a corresponding process or attribute in the universe. God has designed all creatures on the earth, great and small, and the sacred hieroglyphs use this understanding hidden within God's creation, the animals and plants on earth, to explain the truth of this cosmic realm beyond. Each animal or plant used as the hieroglyph therefore carries with it a hidden meaning about the cosmos to be decoded, each of which is revealed for you below. Hieroglyphs have little to do with an ancient civilization, although they do use Egyptian civilization as a metaphor for other processes occurring in the cosmos, which I might explain later. But it has absolutely nothing to do with taxing poor people or a set of judgment laws about an afterlife, as mainstream Egyptologists would have you believe. Instead, the hieroglyphs are sacred carvings from God, giving us the true understanding and physics of the universe, the realm beyond. So the lion is the first animal I have chosen to show you. The lion is one of the loudest animals on earth, so its special characteristic is its ability to roar, and that is implying the physics of a process. Nikola Tesla called it magnification. He didn't know what the hieroglyphs were, but we do, and we can infer from that animal's special characteristic that it is meaning, in terms of electricity, it is meaning magnification. And you can prove that by looking at Aker, Sekhmet, the Sphinx. You can apply the concept of magnification to what those entities are explaining using the line, and you'll see it works every time. The line is magnification. That is the truth. As hard as people will find it to accept it, that is the truth. The next bird is the ibis. That is the electric potential. The reason being, the ibis has a special bill. It's theorized to be similar to the platypus, and you can see I've shown videos of the ibis on the website where it will forage for food while the waves are crashing in and out on a beach. Now, there's no way it can be doing that through vibration, because the waves are creating a lot of vibration. It's able to find its food using an electric signal of the animal, and that's very clear. Just by watching videos of the animal, you can see that is the truth. And therefore, the ibis is standing for voltage, and it's often positioned next to stars. It's used very commonly in the hieroglyphic scriptures, and it's nothing to do with anything else, just electric potential, or what we now call voltage. The next one is the peregrine falcon. Peregrine falcon is the special characteristic is it's the fastest animal on Earth. It flies in its speeds excess of 100 meters per second when it's doing a stoop, diving down towards Earth to catch its prey. We theorize that during that procedure, its feathers are collecting a large amount of charge, and is therefore developing a strong electric field, which is a buffer. And this concept is used in fighter bomber planes and other things the military use it. But this is what that bird stands for, a strong electric field. In the hieroglyphs, it's shown supporting the star. It is because stars have strong electric fields around them. We know this because of how the solar wind behaves. Anyone who sees that the solar wind accelerates away from the star knows that there's a strong electric field there. The next animal is the crocodile. That one, the crocodile, has the largest pinch force of any animal on Earth. People who are familiar with electric universe theory will know that stars are plasma pinches on a Birkeland current stream. What that crocodile is symbolizing is that pinch mechanism. So the jaw of the crocodile is describing the Bennett pinch, and it's used in the hieroglyphs in Amit and Sobek and other, and there's hybrid animals like where you've got the strong electric field of peregrine falcon coupled on the body of a crocodile, showing that concept. And you can go into further detail by clicking the link to Komombo Temple in Egypt and reading about the hieroglyphs in the cartouche there, which explain how stars are formed and how God supplies them with negative charge. Now, the next animal is a cobra. That is either, traditionally they thought it was resting or ejecting, although they didn't even think that. They think that these are letters of the alphabet, and it's just stunning to me that people have fallen for that for so long. What the cobra is just it's either resting, which is an ectotherm animal, so it's absorbing energy. I had a pet snake when I was younger, so maybe that just seemed obvious to me because of that. But but for people who don't know what snakes are, they're cold-blooded animals, and they absorb energy from their surroundings. That's why you have to put a heater in their cage. And the other side of the snake is ejection, when it's ejecting its venom. And the snake is often wrapped around stars in hieroglyphs to represent these two attributes of stars: the fact that they absorb energy from their surroundings, they're not thermonuclear reactions that are self-consuming, and then they eject that in the form of coronal mass ejections. And you can see that, and I can go into it in further detail if you want, in Ra and Sekhmet, how the solar wind creates and is powering our plasmasphere up. This is all explained in the hieroglyphs.